Down at the shop, we only count on the best of the best to keep our heads on straight and our workflow moving. With Raycon, we know we are in good hands with their brand new multi-point connectivity and quick charge features. Available in a variety of colors for whatever fits your style or skin tone. We went with the sleek carbon black option because it's everyone's favorite at the shop, but we did have some fun with the wireless charging protective case in this awesome yellow. There is no better time to try out Raycon as they just launched their new upgraded model of the everyday earbuds, and with a 30-day happiness guarantee, you can see what all the fuss is about. Thank you to Raycon for sponsoring today's video. Click the link in the description box or go to buyraycon.com/JimmyO to get 15% off your Raycon purchase plus free shipping. Now let's get back to work.
What is up, everyone? Happy Monday, and I got the sniffles, so bear with me throughout this video. I'm a little sick. We'll get through it. I'll take some Dayquil. It'll be fine. But as you guys know, we have B-Hall's hatch here, the car that we've been trying to help B-Hall finish up so he can start having some fun on the track with us. You know, Brian Hall is one of our really good friends. He started this project. We've been helping out throughout the last few months, but we decided to Debbie down and get this thing finished up so we can start having fun on the track together. And as you guys saw in the last two videos, I wired this thing up. I put an ECU and I put all the sensors in it. I got it running. Then we finished up the rest of the bit and we had Brian drive it around for the very first time, which is the last video, which was really exciting. If you guys didn't see that, go back. It's good energy. It's great to see Brian smile. And well, today I spent all weekend finalizing the rest of it. We could get this thing on the dyno today, get it tuned up, and then go rip on it, officially rip on it for the very first time. So this is exciting. We've been making quick work of this thing. It's coming together really quick. It's been good so far. We're gonna keep that positive energy going. And today we're gonna see what it makes on this setup. Nothing to it but to do it, so let's get this thing hooked up on the dyno.
That was literally first crank.
Dead cold on E85. I had to get my boy right. Because I actually care about Brian, all right? That's why.
Okay.
Do you hear how smooth this is? The healthiest sounding K. I don't want to hype it up too much, but this is like the healthiest sounding K I've ever heard in my life. And it doesn't smoke, which is mind-boggling. I've had many Ks in my life.
Let's see how that is after today.
Yeah, it's true. This would be the first time that we put this thing under some load and force some boost on it, which it was definitely not made to do, but she'll take it. Look at all my feet in this thing. Brian's not that tall. I'll fix that.
Easy,
I gotta tighten the damn belt on this thing. Yo, this car feels great. Like, everything feels super tight. It's smooth. The pedals feel good. Like, I'm really, really stoked. Got it. All right, boys, so if you're new to this or just don't know what the heck that's going on, well, let's talk about the setup before we tune this thing, right? So right here, I'd consider this to be probably one of the simplest packages you could put together on a 240 to make some type of power, right? A stock engine, which is the KA24DE, right? Stock 240 engine. I believe this is a 13 engine, so the 13s have slightly more aggressive cams over the 14s. If you didn't know. And the long block itself, so valve covered oil pan with nothing on it, is completely stock.
Is that a good or a bad thing?
You look so nervous. Well, so here's the thing, right? So obviously these engines came NA from the factory, right? They're kind of clunky engines meant for a truck they shoved in here. And well, we put this big old turbo on it. What that means is the internals are not made to be boosted, but proven over time, these things have held up to pretty good power in factory form as long as you take the right precautions. So we did most of them, and we'll talk about it right now. Ethanol. That's about it.
Check.
E85. So, you know, I've personally done a lot of turbo Ks, and I've learned a lot from them, and I also am good friends with the boys down at the Hayes Drift team, and they all run KA turbos in their drift cars. They have been for years, and they've all been mainly on stock engines for years, making insanely good numbers. And so talking with them and taking the knowledge I had from previous builds, it seems like this should get us pretty far. But let me put this disclaimer out here. Whenever you turbo an NA engine, I don't care if it's an LS, a K-Series, or any of the other proven engines that make insane power for being NA, it's always a gamble. I don't care. I don't care if you have a 0-mile engine. it's always a gamble. It could potentially last unscathed for 6 years, or they could blow up in 2 pulls. And I don't care if someone says, oh, my cousin did this, made this power with this turbo. It doesn't matter. It's always, I don't care. It's always a gamble. That being said, we've done all our due diligence besides one thing. A lot of the KA turbo guys tend to stud drop these things, which means pulling out the factory head studs one by one and throwing in ARP head studs to basically give a better seating to the head so we don't lift the factory head bolts and pull the head gaskets. Brian does want to stud drop it, it's just a big pain in the butt. So our goal here is to tune it on gate pressure, which should be about 8 PSI, which should leave it under the range of blowing the head gasket and allow him to break the car in, get the car filled out and have some fun.
So what is that range?
Yeah, good question. I would say like 300 horsepower.
Yeah.
I would say 300 horsepower is probably the number. I mean, we could probably make Nasanda. Remember that video when we tried to blow Nasanda up? One more time. Completely stock KA. Smoking to the moon.
With a bent. Did it have a bent rod?
It had a bent rod, I think, before we started making the power. It made 440 horsepower over again. We couldn't blow it up.
Never blew up.
Never blew up. We did 30 pulls on my dyno. We went on the road, went up and down the road. We put on Kenny's dyno, confirmed, did another 20 pulls on there. Engine would not blow up. And that was stock everything.
Yeah, sometimes 4 years, sometimes 2 pulls.
Exactly. Also, you gotta remember the bearings. You can knock an NA bearing. These bearings get old, they're getting thin. These bearings are also not designed to hold up to these cylinder pressures. Whatever your rod's getting, your bearing's getting too. So, big disclaimer if you guys are doing NAT setup, but I think this is an amazing option. Given the price of SR is so expensive, I love KATs, they produce a lot of torque, it's sick, so boom, this is what we got.
Keeping it tame.
We're keeping it tamed. I mean, we have a stock trans in this thing. That's gonna be the fuse of the whole.
Yeah.
What we have here is we have a Future Fab exhaust manifold. On top of that, we have a Pulsar G30 660 Garrett clone, the PSR, which has been like the clone turbo of the year. So I'm actually really curious to see how this thing does. I've heard some really good things, I've heard some really shit things, but it's a third of the price of a real Garrett. We'll find out. But the G30 660, it's a bigger turbo, but what's nice about this is it is a bigger engine. It's a 2.4 liter.
It's a big
I
4-cylinder.
keep forgetting this is a 2.4 liter.
That's a lot of displacement. Torque is what bends these rods. So the quicker we make power, the higher torque it gets. So putting a slightly bigger turbo on an NA setup when you're doing NAT will always allow you to make more power in a safer way.
Because it'll move the power band till later.
Yeah, it'll move the power band up, which is technically a less torque zone, which is safer. We have a full D-Works fuel system, from pump, regulator to injectors. I think we put 1250s in here. The regulator, we have a 420 pump, and this weekend I switched over to E85, which we talked about before. First time we started was on pump gas, but E85 is gonna be the saving grace of it, because what I've learned about the KA internals is they're strong, but they're brittle. They can hold up to a lot of cylinder pressure. They're super prone to detonation. So if we put on ethanol, where we can almost eliminate, makes our realm a lot safer. All we have to worry about is our internals holding up to the cylinder pressures, which they tend to do pretty damn good. That being said, if you want to do a KAT setup on pump gas, I don't care who argues it, 270 horsepower is like your wall. We have all Link sensors. We have a Link Monsoon standalone ECU, so we'll be able to have proper control over this thing. We're not doing no FMU bullshit. It has no NIS tune piggyback bullshit. We have modern standalones to keep this thing alive. We have all our safety parameters. We have optimal control. We don't have to worry about ignition timing swinging and causing, no. Link ECU, no problem. And to help account for the KAT's weak ignition system, because factory it came with a distributor, we are running K series coil packs. An easy conversion to do with a modern standalone or quick to pin in. And look at that, we have smart coils now. Modernize the engine. Smart coils also make your K look pretty. This engine goes from a dumpy trunk engine to a car engine with smart coils. Yeah, I've done enough yapping. Let's get this thing rolling, make some power. One thing that's nice about old crusty engines, we don't need a break-in procedure. This thing probably has 200,000 miles of break-in, so they broke in those rings for boost, that's what happened. So we're gonna do on gate first. The gate should be about 8 PSI, which should put it in that power range of just getting Brian to test the car, right? That's what we want. I want to kind of leave it in stages so Brian can have his fun and have something to look forward to. This should go pretty quick. Everything's been working great on this car. I would say like 5 dyno pulls, it should be like locked in. That was boost cut. That scared the crap out of me. I'm so nervous for this. So I have our boost limit, our map limit set pretty conservatively on this, since this is an NA setup and we can't afford to let this thing over boost. So I thought we had an 8-pound spring in it, and it looks like we tickled 9.5. Max 300 foot-pounds of torque already. Damn it. Alright, we hit boost cut again. So we're making good power right now. Like, I didn't get to do a full pull. We only read the 5 grand because we hit boost cut again because it looks like we're actually creeping. And that last pull, if you go up, we made 290 horsepower, but we made 328 foot-pounds of torque. We might have to put a smaller spring in it. But it might be boost creeping because I might not be putting enough ignition timing in the engine, just trying to be conservative. If I don't put enough ignition timing in it, it's going to create a lot of back pressure, which can make it boost creep. So I'm going to add some more timing to it, see if the map changes. If it doesn't, then we're going to have to figure some issue out for this boost creep. Sound good? Matt said they made this on pump gas, so if it works for them, I don't know what it is about the Hayes boys, but KAs survive when they have them. I don't know. They're different. Nope, it looks like we just have a boost creeping issue. Pain in the ass. If you're looking at the graphs right here, you can tell we have some pretty consistent pulls, and as you noticed, each pull gets a little bit higher. So what's happening right now is the car is boost creeping. Usually if a car is boost creeping and it's a mechanical issue, we'll kind of just let it creep until we'll get the creeping under control, and we'll make it a power band that's usable and unnoticeable of creep, which is fine. But since we have an NA setup right here, which is internally limited, we have to be mindful of how much power we're making, and we're already starting to creep into the power range of where I don't feel comfortable. Now I talked to my Hayes boys, which are the KA gods. I'll give them the term, they're the KA gods, all right? They think it's fine, but we'll see what Brian thinks. If Brian's comfortable with the power, I'll let it creep to redline, we'll see what it makes peak, and then we'll get the bands under control and make it look good. I was hoping that it was creeping. So if you don't know what I'm saying by creeping, AKA the boost is not being controlled. We're making more and more PSI with the RPM. We can't release the exhaust gas fast enough to not spool the turbo. Either we have a mechanical issue where we can't mechanically get enough air out through the wastegate. We're gonna let the car cool down, play with the gate a little bit, make sure that's all good. But in the meantime, my buddy, the recall guys are here, and they're gonna throw a windshield in the car so we can actually go test this car. I don't want Brian to test this like I did with no glass in the car. It kind of sucks, so. And we're ready for paint. We'll make him come down, pull the windshield back out. And it'll be good, so. Just noticed that the other reference fitting on the wastegate was loose. So hopefully that's enough to cause the reference to be wrong and to creep. We're gonna find out. Cool.
Kind of crazy.
Didn't change a damn thing.
Crazy, this engine was like sleeping for like 5 years in some dude's garage, and you just woke it up with a punch to the face. Wake up! I'm awake!
Never have I ever been tuning a car also put some windshield in it. This is hilarious. Making 12 PSI. It'll probably make 14 PSI by redline, which is probably gonna be 350 foot-pounds of torque and probably 360 horsepower.
Yeah, that's what I wanted in the first place, but I didn't think it was gonna do that on gate.
I mean, to stop really getting a little mechanical. At least the torque doesn't ramp in super hard. I mean, it's a KA because it comes in.
That's a lot of torque.
So, Bri, what's the call?
The call is either finish tuning it or don't.
You want to take the manifold off and fix it?
What part?
I don't know.
Grind the wastegate or something?
No, put a 50 mil gate on it or something, or some 45. So next best thing. Or we just make 350 horsepower.
I think that's what it's gonna do. I don't know.
Anyone have a spare K just in case? All right, so my 270 horsepower thing, when I was talking about before, that's the max I like to go on. Pump gas with like a GT28 style turbo. It's a smaller tire turbo. Talking to my boys, it seems like if you go with like a G30 or like a GT35 style turbo, these things live a lot longer on the pump gas. And then we're on the ethanol, so it puts us in a higher range. So I think really the only limitation right now is going to be the stock head gasket. Or the stock head bolts, right? We'll say that as a combo. So I think if we stud drop it, it should be fine. Brian wants to send it, so we're going to turn the limiter up and see what it boosts to, and see if it keeps us in a tameable area that we could leave it. Beautiful job. Beautiful job.
Look at that.
That's
I
it.
can see clearly now.
Yeah.
The bird is
Look at that.
done.
Oh look, I have glass now. This is nice. No, it's creeping too aggressively. I was hoping it would creep like organically enough we could just send it to redline, but the creep is getting progressive. Like it goes from 11 psi to 14 psi in like 400 RPM. So that's a lot. All right, that was a lot of power. That would have been sick. Yeah, I was literally only able to rev up to 5,800 RPM. Look at this power band though, this thing's sick. This stock motor. People make it, but I don't think we want to play with luck on this one. What do we do from here? We got to start figuring out what our mechanical limitation is. Usually it's either the size of the wastegate or the placement of the wastegate, right? If it's not optimally placed in the manifold, it can't allow the flow of the exhaust gas to escape efficiently. Or if the size of the wastegate is too small, obviously you just can't get enough out through that hole. So you could either reposition your gate, or you could put a bigger gate on it. First, we might want to determine if it's the gate or not, and what we could do, if you want to do it, I don't know if you won't care to do it, we could take your wastegate off and do a pull.
I mean, it doesn't. I don't care. It's fine. We can do that to test.
So what that will do is literally have...
You just have to put like a fire shield against that booster.
Yeah, it'll be fine. If it doesn't boost creep at all, that tells us that there's an issue with the gate itself, or potentially a restriction due to the gate stump tube. If it still boost creeps, then we know it's the manifold. This is gonna sound horrible. I'll try to be quick with it. So if Brian was running no wastegate, the car would make a perfect amount of power. Yeah, we still made
290.
We still made 10 psi.
That still made 10 psi with no gate.
10 psi with no gate.
That's wild.
Yeah, but it looks like we definitely need to upgrade the gate size on Brian's manifold. Right now it's a 45. Usually you would think a 45 is good enough for a 4-cylinder. Going bigger never hurts. All right, so we're trying to find a solution here that works for us. So we don't mind letting this thing creep to like 12 psi, 13 psi. That's fine. It'll make a power that we're good with, that's comfortable and good. It'll make power that we're comfortable with. So we're curious if we could just put basically a 1 psi spring in the gate, if it'll let us get there, or if the gate will cause physically too much restriction that it'll boost over, right? So is our wastegate spring doing anything for our boost creep, or if it's just the sheer volume that we're losing due to the internals of the wastegate that is causing us to overboost? We're here, might as well give it a shot. So we're gonna take out the 9-pound spring in the gate, we're gonna shove like a 1 pound spring in the gate just to hold a diaphragm in there and see what it does.
Yeah, I think that's the way. Right through there.
Snug fit. Snug fit. Putting a slider spring in it kind of makes sense, doesn't make sense, because technically it should be wide open anyways while it's creeping already. Yeah. But if this won't allow it to ramp in as fast, you know what I mean? It's not going to allow the boost to ramp in as fast, so maybe it'll just slow down the overall boost.
Gotcha. Makes sense.
We'll see what happens.
I was like, there's no way you got that much better in this thing.
Is there a smaller one than this?
No.
Oh, give it a shot. Everything's hot. That's what sucks about dyno sessions. You don't find problems till everything's hot. 3 pound gate. Let's see if it does it for us. I think we actually hit limiter that time, which is good. Let's check it out. Nope, that was still boost cut. Our logic kind of made sense. It worked. We got farther. We still didn't really fix the issue. So we still hit my boost limit of 15 PSI, but we got to 6,700 RPM. We're 300 short of our goal of 7,000 RPM. So our torque, it's a little weird, right? Because you want to aim for more of a flatter torque. You want a more area under the curve than, I guess, the peak number. The faster the torque comes in, the more dangerous it is on the internals. So having torque at higher RPM is definitely safer than making this torque at lower RPM. So we'll consider this technically the safest pull that we've done, and we could leave it here, probably be fine. Is the power delivery gonna be fun to drive? I don't know, because we're kind of lacking this mid-range right here. If we can combine it with our previous map, it'd be great, right? We can have the torque come in, and we can make it slowly ramp out. And that will give us a bigger area under the graph, which gives us more usable power band, which makes the car really enjoyable to drive. Can we do that with it creeping like this? Probably not. We gotta fix the manifold. We need a bigger wastegate on this car, unfortunately, which sucks because
change the position.
We were this close. Yeah, I mean, change position, get a bigger gate, whatever way we want to attack it. Both would be nice, but so close. That's what sucks about the dyno session. It's like the first time you're putting a new project under testing and on the load. So like after all this work, you don't know if your heart's gonna be broken until this moment.
Yeah, the car's still drivable.
That's why dyno sessions are so make or break, because it's either gonna be like everything was mint and make good power, or you're gonna finally figure out what the weakest link is and then have to go back to wrenching. But you're right, it is drivable right now. Yeah. But is it gonna be enjoyable? Probably not. It's like a trackside fix right here, blasting this manifold off. All right, so let's get this manifold off and get a better look at how it circs the dump for the wastegate.
Here she sleeps.
Gotta love it, pulling a manifold on a dyno. I mean, it's crazy, right? Because if you look at this, like if you look at the size of this volume, manifolds sends air into the turbo spools. Wastegate releases the air going to the turbo to not spool the turbo to maintain boost. So if you can't escape enough exhaust gases out the wastegate, it's going to continue to spool the turbo. It's going to continue to spool the turbo and make too much boost. That's what we got going on. So what we need to do is we need to make this more optimal of releasing the exhaust gas. We could do so by, one, putting the gate in a different position so the flow dynamics are more efficient, and or upgrade the size of the exhaust tube and the wastegate itself. So right here we have a 45mm gate, and the next step up would be a 50mm gate, which would then put us into this size tubing for our outlet. So if you look at the difference, look how much more volume. I mean, that's almost the same size as the turbo. So this would give me a lot more confidence. The only thing that sucks about that is, well, we have to buy another wastegate, and they're not cheap. For the sake of saving money, we're gonna try and make this one more efficient instead of just trying to upgrade the gate size, right? If we upgrade the gate size, it's easy because it's just more volume. This way around, we're gonna try and optimize the flow coming to the gate so we can get this thing to creep less. It's okay if it creeps a little bit. It's not gonna kill us.
You made a good point. There's a 45 on every car in here, none of them boost street.
Exactly. So we're gonna.
That gate should work.
In theory, the gate should work. 50's an easy one, but a 50mm gate is like $500 something. So we're gonna see what we can do to this one, make it work for B-Hall.
You gave me a weird look when I picked this up.
No, it's just all right.
It's just.
Good thing Brian's not here to see this.
She already flows better.
So the goal here is optimizing flow. So before we had this, we have the 90 at the collector that then comes off at a different angle from the flow. So the goal here is to orientate this thing in a manner that allows the flow to kind of be organic out. So as you could tell, the turbo collector, the flow goes straight into it, right? So of course, the flow is going to favor the turbo and neglect the gate, so. And yeah, a lot of guys are gonna mention just welding the gate straight to the hot side of the turbo, but in this car, it's gonna fit like shit, so we're gonna try not to do that. All right, some quick modifications later. We have a new path to the flow here. So before we had a 90 off here and then a 90 this way, right? So we have two 90s. This way, we have like one, we'll say 90. Less of a bend than a 90, but we are eliminating a whole 90-degree bend. Since we are now mounting this at an angle that's very hot, it actually opens up the diameter of this and this quite a bit. And now it's time to find out if it fits.
All right, it's close.
It's close.
It's too close, but it's close.
It's getting there. You know, you can see why they put the 90 in it, obviously, just for fitment reasons, but.
So if I could actually try and come up some.
Thing we have a spare hop sign, so
I don't have to. Yeah, can I come up with it? Yeah, I got plenty of room to come up.
I don't know if plenty is the term, but.
I got plenty. All right, I know which way to go.
Many test fits later, we finally have something that actually allows the gate to fit in the car, since we do have a very tight spot between the head and the strut tower itself. So right here, still positions it slightly up, keeps it nice and short, and gets rid of that crazy angle and the longer piece on the manifold. So the priority for the wastegate, well, it's a lot better. Gate position fixed. Is it going to solve it? We don't know yet. We would have loved to get the angle a little bit higher, but we have constraints, right? So this is the best that we could do with the package that we have. So without obviously going up a gate size, if we can get the creep somewhat under control, I'm not going to be mad about it. If it creeps a little bit, I don't care. It's going to make a nice power band for the car, but I need it manageable. 5 to 7 PSI, sick. 10 plus, not going to happen.
Put that dash strength into it.
No, because I'll break a stud. There we go. Manifold on. Brian, that's how you know I love you. Take on and off this manifold. Blur that out, right? Thank God for V-bands. Like, imagine if it was like a T4 flange and like a 5-bolt downpipe and stuff.
You wouldn't have done it.
No, I would have been like, Brian, it's all right. We'll put the car out back. Touch it next year.
Brian's problem.
Like nothing ever happened. So we started with a 7-pound spring in it. Then we went down to that 3-pound spring. I put a 5-pound spring in it. I do want this thing to spool somewhat. We can't leave all the power out of it. So let's see what she does. Brian, perfect timing.
Hi. Literally perfect timing. You guys been busy or?
Nah, just hanging out.
Okay.
So that didn't really do much. Like at all.
That's disappointing.
Yeah, I didn't really do anything. It was just a giant waste of time. But we learned.
I don't know what we learned.
Don't do that again. Just fucking put a bigger gate on it, I guess. I thought it would help a little bit. Like, we didn't need much. I needed like 2 PSI better of creep. Almost, I mean, look at this curve. It's almost no difference. Huh. Happy Monday for you. We just went 380 horsepower.
I have no idea how that didn't help at all.
340 foot-pounds of torque. Here's the thing, right? We all know my dyno reads a little high.
It's more like 350.
Yeah, maybe 350. I almost want to just leave it. It's a nice curve. Look at this thing. Hold on. So it's the shape that you really feel, not the size, but the shape, right? The shape. The parabolic motion. It's what feels good. And this looks like it's gonna feel good. Look at this right here. Look at that. It's good. You know what I mean? Like, we left the torque. We, as in me, not doing anything, just the boost dynamics of the manifold, move the torque farther down on the RPMs, which puts it in a safer zone, which then allows for higher peak power.
It really would feel really good.
I got him.
The horsepower picks up right before the torque like reaches its peak would feel so good. It's gonna feel like it never stops pulling.
That's where you're mainly gonna be too.
I know. It would feel amazing right here.
What I would, in a perfect world, I would cut the torque right here. See how it comes up to 300 right here? I would just make it flat right here instead of it kind of curling up. And honestly, the car wouldn't feel a bunch slower and it'd be a bunch safer. But unfortunately, well, manifold said otherwise. So
I mean, if the Hayes boys said run it, I'll run it.
No, I'm gonna run it.
That's what I'm talking about.
yeah, fair enough. I mean, I don't know who smokes more weed, you or Matt, but whatever.
We could battle it out.
All right, put the camera down, did a couple more pulls, and we got this thing pretty dialed in. I'm really happy where it's at right now. So I managed to get this thing a little more tamed, super clean, and right now we have it making 356 horsepower and 315 foot-pounds of torque. I am super happy with this, right? This is a power band I would have very similarly made with the boost controller, though I wish I could blend the torque here, bring it down a little bit, bring it up a little bit here, make it flatter. This is still a big area under the curve. The power band is very linear. It's good, and at this power level, I feel good with it. The car sounds super healthy. It's pulling hard. Like, you could tell when you're putting too much boost in the engine for its setup. It doesn't like it. What do you think?
I'm thinking that the E85 is doing its job right now.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
You know, we're feeling good. Honestly,
ethanol is a saving grace for everything.
It sounds like and it looks like it's gonna be good.
It feels good in the car. So.
From outside, it seems like it's gonna be good.
You ready to unstrap this thing and see how it feels?
Yeah.
That sounds crazy, doesn't it?
You're not gonna.
Oh, you want to do the honors?
What? Do a pull? All right.
Come on, do it.
I'll do it outside.
No, do it. Come on.
Bring an oil leak?
Oh, we got an oil leak?
Yeah, your turbo drain is leaking.
Well, good thing we got to leak on the dyno, because that probably would have sucked on the... What was that?
We'll tighten that up.
Yeah.
It'll be all right.
See, this is why that's why I do my final test, because we would have did a 1, 2, 3 on the road and oil would have been everywhere. So I'll take it. Not gonna lie to you guys though, I was nervous when he was doing that.
Care who you are, if it's your car on the dyno, you're a little nervous.
That's why I do it. Honestly, that's why I do it, because I'm like, if I can just get over the nerves of doing it on the dyno here, when I go to do my pull on the road, I'm not thinking about it. So it's good.
Are the Allens completely loose?
Yeah, that one's good.
Ew, that would have been so nice when the turbo was off. Damn it. How you feeling?
Nervous.
There you go. Here, Brian. Drive straight until the very last second.
Yeah.
You're good. Here we go, boys. Hold on, let me shut my dyno off. It's a moving, operating car. It's so excited. You know, you get a power band, you get a number, but ultimately it's how it feels. So we'll see what Brian says. He wanted the clutch kick it so bad. Okay. Oh, the battery's not died down. Brian. Oh,
We got lucky. Ish.
Ish.
We forgot about that.
We forgot about that.
Sorry.
You got all excited. How's it feel?
I mean, it feels good. We got, that broke. So we could hook that up with a bolt right now.
It makes me nervous.
He's a menace.
Yeah.
Brian's gonna drive that to work tomorrow. We're gonna throw the taillights in and
Yeah.
prop some little headlights up. He's gonna go.
You show him what happened.
Yeah, you ripped the.
You'll get that.
Brian.
Sounds sick though, and it's good just to see the car do its own thing under its own power. Okay, now I don't want to sound greedy, but I feel like we could put more power in the thing. Spoon's looking at me like, yeah. Look at this thing's running so good.
It's fun.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I feel like we could put more power in it.
Yeah, maybe.
No, I want you to enjoy it. I want you to like,
Yeah.
I want to do this in stages to a sense where you could actually enjoy the damn thing. I mean, at the end of the day, we are stock trans still.
Yeah.
And my KA trans pile has been depleted the last few years, so.
It has. Well, it seems super fun. I can't wait to test it more.
Does it feel kind of surreal though? Like this car is doing this?
Yeah, it's the sounds, you know?
Yeah.
That's what we all want, the sound.
But it feels, I just moved it around in the shop and it felt great.
Yeah, it feels pretty good. Obviously, it needs a little bit of alignment.
But it doesn't feel like a
Double
worn out
check.
old S chassis.
Well, no, everything's brand new underneath.
But you know what I mean though. But dude, this is your car. How sick is that?
That's wild. Yeah, I mean, I wanted one of these for a long time. So.
Hey, now you got a sick one. I mean, it actually looks pretty rowdy.
Facts.
Jesus Christ, okay. Come on, we need a burnout. Can we do a shot burnout?
Do I touch the front brakes?
We'll give it a shot. You can only do it when the tires are cold or else the car pushes really bad. Yeah, it's way too grippy in here. Did the same thing on Tom's car. I wonder if the wood will help. We need a shot, Bernie. It made it so much worse.
And my foot slipped off the clutch when I put it on.
Imagine, well, we totaled my 964.
That was good work.
we tried, all right? At least now it's tuned and we can rip on it. We can start beating on it, breaking things in, getting the car figured out. It sounds great. The whole car feels great. It's making good power. Should be extremely fun to drive. And now with the windshield on, we have to just decide how many body panels do you want to put on this car before we actually test it.
We should probably just put the ones that I got on it.
Give it a shot. Well, what's left of them? They're kind of smashed up, aren't they?
Yeah, it's not. It
It'll
look like
kinda,
a missile.
It'll look kind of cool.
Probably not our style, but I think we should run with it for the rest of the season, and I'll have winter to make it look pretty.
Yeah, it's a good idea. All of Tom's old panels.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be like half orange, half Millennium Jade.
Dude, this car's gonna be like 7 colors. The rear bumper's red, the spats are black, the skirts are black, the fenders are
color's the
green
hood?
and orange, the hood is black, the car is white.
Oh, I have a red hood.
The bay is
Let's put
silver.
the red hood on just to keep it going. The thing's gonna look like a proper 240, and I'm actually kind of excited to see it. But yeah, this is sick. Big win today. Motor sounds like it loves it. I think we're plenty in the safe area. I think if we wanted to, we could even have it boost in a little bit harder.
Head studs never good.
Yeah, we got a stud drop. We got to find a couple hours where we want to head stud this thing. And then I would feel extremely confident in this. For now, we're all exhausted. It's getting late, but huge win today. I couldn't be more excited. But for now, I need some sleep. So you guys know the deal. Like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for more content, and we'll see you guys very shortly.
It's sad because I